kids grow up with tales of princesses and fairies. Some grow up with myths of fallen gods and of betrayals. Some grow up with no stories at all, and some never grow up. And they are the ones who will make the stories. Welcome to the Night Vale Community College. Fellow students, angels, where do they come from? What are they doing? What is their hierarchy? Are they even real? The answer to all of these questions is, of course, no. But despite being totally not real and of unknown and unknowable hierarchy, the angels are an important part of our community, and in consequence, our community college. I'm bringing this up right now because for a couple of weeks, the angels seem to have mysteriously disappeared. They always do this, you know. All we ask is that if you're going to mysteriously disappear for an extended period of time, that you schedule about a week in advance to the official college mysterious disappearances calendar, like everyone else. But they always ignore it. And we can't charge them or punish them appropriately because in order to do that, we'd have to acknowledge their existence. And you cannot disappear if you're not real, unless you're a hallucination. And as I'm sure we are all aware, hallucinations are exempt from the obligatory calendar usage due to their unpredictable natures and the fact that their disappearance depends on the nutritional state, the spiritual condition, and the level of insanity of the beholder. But the hallucinations have made it very clear to me in an exclusive interview that the angels are not a part of them. They then proceeded to transform into birds, sounds, waves of light, and lakes of the most crystal waters, to which I could almost reach out my hands and grab a portion of it to drink. But not quite. Not quite. In the lake, I could see reflections of impossible things. Of dead siblings. Of living siblings. Of siblings that do not have a Facebook, therefore I'm no longer able to tell if they are living or dead. Bright skies, dark skies, sepia skies, with that old movie effect that, while looking cool, is in no way convincing to anyone who has ever truly watched an old movie. The images then became messages, that became sounds, that became echoes, that became nothing more than a thought. A thought that took out all the colors of the walls of my imagination, and suddenly I am covered by the darkness of my own madness, alone at the radio station trying to cope with my isolated realities with dreams of freedom and of sunlight. But suddenly, I was okay. Suddenly I remembered that I had you guys. Suddenly I remembered that while my body may not leave this room, my voice is warmly heard and is welcomed by each and every one of you. And that this is not only enough, but it is more than I could have ever dreamed or asked for. Thank you, friends. Thank you. And now, a special recording from the vacuum of space. And that was a special recording from the vacuum of space. Students, this is getting out of hand. Another disappearance has just been reported. It's Bob, the blind observer. According to other members of the observation department, he was there and then, just like that, a fraction of a second, he wasn't. At least 3 members had their eyes fixed on Bob, observing, since that's what they do, and all 3 of them reported the same thing. It wasn't a blink of an eye. It was much faster, and it was a pretty simple vanish, too. As far as vanishes go, no bright flashes, no smoke explosion, no beams of light coming from above or below, not even an 80s fading out effect. It was BAM! In one moment he was there, and in another he wasn't. The investigation department is investigating the case, but the observation department seems to have already given up. In fact, they are now affirming that he never even existed. The eyes, they explained, are our gateways with which we see the universe around us. We know things exist because we see them. We witness, we watch, we embrace the occurrences and the events of the world in which we inhabit through the tenacious, never-tiring work of our beautiful retinas. If we cannot see, we cannot know it exists. If we cannot know, then there is no reason to waste our thoughts with the possibility. And therefore, denial becomes the answer. Our eyes determine the truth. If we cannot see, it does not exist. Well, they might be right, fellow students. What I cannot see, I cannot know for sure that it does exist. What I cannot see right now is Jerry the Parrot. But I can hear him, and that should count for something, right? In fact, let us all hear him, and draw our own conclusion about whether or not he exists. Ladies and gentlemen, with you now, Jerry the Parrot, our beautiful cover artist who sings every song perfectly, including the instrumental.
Little did I know she would get so crazy, so fast, so maybe I'll get baked on the daily, put my feet up, let my mind go hazy. Little did I know she would get this gnarly, this quickly, I hardly had time to think, no time to think. If you like S&M, go choke a bitch. If you wanna just place, go smoke a spliff. If you got an envelope, go open it. If you need to urinate, stop holding it. If you're mad fed up, find a bone to pick. And if you wanna get laid, then don't commit. Relax, bubble bath, go soaking it. Dead broke, but you got a couple poker chips. Feeling hopeless, cause it's all downhill from the moment that you're born to the moment that you're killed. Well, at least when you're dead, you could get a little goddamn rest. See, I've been out of wax since 92, when my folks split up and I came unglued, and I haven't really slept that well since then. Staring at alarm clocks on my nightstands, but now I'm married to the kick drum, sampled in loops like the dim sum. Tell myself I think I can, little engine, but sometimes seems like it's all been done. I wanna end on a good note, but damn, I misspoke, so I retract everything I said. Ought to rise and shine, think I'll stay in bed. Little did I know she would get so crazy, so fast, so maybe I'll get baked on the daily, put my feet up, let my mind go hazy. Little did I know she would get this gnarly, this quickly, I hardly had time to think, no time to think. If you want nice eyes, wear Maybelline. If you need a new friend, pick Rachel Green. If you wanna act wild, go make a scene. Getting paid over here, baby, ching-a-ling. If you're scared to propose, and save the ring. And if you can't hit it right, fake a scream. Life's like a punch, might break your spleen, so you better get used to the pace of things. Cause basically, it's like stress non-stop, from the moment that you're born to the moment that you drop. Well, at least when you're dead, you could get a little piece in the head. See, I've been feeling blue since 99, when I realized I'm a slave to time, and the minutes that we got all limited is out, while I'm looking at my watch, just wasting mine. Caught a glimpse of the action. Since that day, I felt the passion. Don't just talk, go make it happen. 3 points in the clutch, John Paxson, but I'm maxing everything out, damn. And the same doubts keep waiting on my brain. On the rise and shine, think I'll just complain. Little did I know she would get so crazy, so fast, so maybe I'll get baked on the daily, put my feet up, let my mind go hazy. Little did I know she would get this gnarly, this quickly, I hardly had time to think, no time to think. Little did I know she would get so crazy, so fast, so maybe I'll get baked on the daily, put my feet up, let my mind go hazy. Little did I know she would get this gnarly, this quickly, I hardly had time to think, no time to think. If you like what you have and you got what you need, if your apartment is the place to be, if you eat sweet crepes or savory, wanna get in touch, so you're paging me. If you stalk down your rival and break her knee, if you're wandering the earth aimlessly, trying to learn it all A to Z, but you can't get it up when you lay the D, well, I suggest you switch your mind state. When people ask you how it's going, just say I'm great. Okay, well, I suggest you switch your mind state. When people ask you how it's going, just say I'm great, I'm great.
Friends, something strange is happening. There's a guy right here in this room which I have tried many, many times to get out of and haven't been able to get away. He just appeared here. I don't know who he is. He's wearing a very ancient-looking mask that seems to be made out of stone. It has no space for eyes to see, and the nose to breathe, or the mouth to talk. The stone mask seems to have some sort of inscription, in a language I cannot read, but I understand. Not through words, but as dreams. I see a calm, infinite sea touched gently by the sun. The sea calls me not with voices, but with emotions. I take a step, then 2, then 3, then 4, and then suddenly, I drown. I really should have predicted that. All I can see around me is water, flowing freely, keeping me suspended in the moment. A moment that degenerates as the water begins to take form. Familiar forms, a familiar floor, familiar walls, a familiar ceiling, a familiar desk, and very, very familiar radio equipment. I look again, and suddenly the masked man is once again in my sight. I say, "Hey!" And he doesn't answer. I say, What's your name?" And he says, "You can call me the Prophet." And I say, "Nice to meet you, Mr. Prophet. Care for a cup of coffee?" And he says, "I do not want your coffee. Where I come from, there's much better coffee." And I say, "Oh, cool. Where are you from? I want to visit this." But he then interrupts me, saying, "I bring you a message." Kind of rude, but I say, oh, okay. You do know that I have an email, right? And a Facebook, and a Twitter, and that other social network. You know, the one with the GIFs. I think its name is Tum, but then he interrupts me. Again, jerk. He says, "Eyes will deceive you. Ears will bend the sound and break the words. Only memories can save you. Remember, you know it happened. The revolution will not be enough. The Dark One has risen." The masked man has vanished as if he was never even here, which honestly would be easier to believe. But no. I know what I saw. I have my memories with me, and they're proof of the existence that I can no longer see. And this is my answer to you, Observation Department. Memories. They are the site of the times past, that confirmations of the long gone, and the witnesses of the no more. They immortalize the dead and perpetuate the living. Observation Department, you should know better than to forget, for our memories are the beautiful wall, which your observations are the bricks. Speaking of which, good news has just been communicated to me, fellow students. It seems that Bob, the blind observer, has returned, and he's back, exactly where he was before he vanished. It was as if he's never left, which honestly might be easier to believe. The Observation Department is once again acknowledging his existence, and apologized for their mistake. Bob, the blind observer, is in fact real, at least for now. And wow, another update. It seems angels have also returned from whatever celestial mission they were engaged in, and once again are happily walking among us. Or they would be if they were real, which they're not. Everything seems to be right back on track, friends. What a pleasant coincidence. Hey, all in time for me to end today's show. At this point, I could not think of anything else that needs to be said or done. Not for today, at least. All I can do is wish you have an amazing lective day, friends. Stay tuned for an ethereal sound which cannot be translated to our simplistic electromagnetic radio waves. But we managed to do it anyway. Good luck, fellow Night Vale College students, and goodbye.
Thank you for listening. The Night Vale College Radio is a fan podcast written by Leo Falcom. In homage to the Commonplace Books podcast, Welcome to Night Vale by Joseph Fink and Jeffrey Craner. Please support their show. The host voice is Gabriela Robles. This mysterious voice in the credits is Emily Lombardi. The opening song is The Temporal Fields by Walt Fagali. Find out more at waltfagali.com. Jerry's song was So Fast, So Maybe by K-Flay. Find out more at kflay.com. Background music by Incompetech and Yuji at music.tumblr.com. If you want to know more about our podcast, follow us on Tumblr at nightdalecollege.tumblr.com. We've been waiting for you for a long time. By all means, take a seat. Today's proverb: sweet dreams are made of this. Sour dreams are made of impatience and confusion. Lemonade is made of lemons given by life itself. Fear is made of surprise. An axe being held by the killer behind you is probably made of a pretty sharp metal.